All right, so I'm going to do a video on hoof trimming before you get on the pack trail. So kind of like getting ready to get on the pack trail for the year, that sort of thing. Now, here's going to be the surprising answer. Unless their hooves are horrible, don't trim, because the trail will trim it for them. Now, that is dependent how many rocks and kind of sandy, gritty soil you're going to be in, but most high country will have eroded granite trails, which are very abrasive, and then a fair amount of rocks. Now, if you happen to be in like Pacific Northwest or out east, and you know you're just going to be in leaf litter and that sort of thing, you may want to trim because they're not going to wear them as much on the trail, but they still always end up wearing them more than they do hanging out in the pasture. So hoof trimming before you get on the trail is really important because you need to know that, or how you do it is really important because you need to know that goats suffer when they're new on the trail to sore feet. And so if you trim them close before you put them on the trail, you're going to have a bunch of sore-footed goats. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you were to take off your calluses on your feet, then your shoes would rub on those spots and you'd be sore there. It's kind of the same thing. So even if their trims are in, or if their hooves are in fairly bad shape, the only thing I'm doing is trimming the outer perimeter wall. So in case I have lips hanging over or something like that. So I'm going to give, if I'm going to trim before I get them on the trail, I'm going to give them a very minor trim, and I'm certainly not going to go into the sole bed and try to correct or do any of that stuff. So the thing to know about trimming before you go on a trip is that if you're going to trim aggressively, you need to do that like 6 weeks before. Let their feet kind of come back, let them get in a position. So the repairing days are over about 6 weeks in advance of packing season. Once you get ready to get on the trail, it's a very minor trim around the outer surface, maybe to kind of clean them up, that sort of thing. And if they're not bad, just leave them alone. Let them wear them themselves. So it's a go easy on that kind of thing because it is hard for them to get in their feet in shape, especially at the beginning of the season. And if you're a regular packer like me, I don't trim from probably June till October because they're just keeping their hooves trimmed on the trail. The only ones I got to trim are the ones staying in the pasture. So that's something to know. And that's where having rock structures, areas that they walk on during the winter, that they're toughening up their hooves and they're wearing their hooves on, those are really beneficial for goats in the pasture to have something that they're walking on. I haven't found suggestions like shingles to work very well because they don't last very long, but very nice abrasive rocks that you have them walk over to go to the mineral, go over to the water, play structure, that sort of thing is a better way to go in terms of getting their feeding condition ready for packing season. I actually get my goats in condition and their feeding condition by putting them out on their spring pasture, which is the mountain. And that mountain, by the way, is super squashy, squishy, sandy dirt. I'm surprised how much they wear their hooves on that. They do an amazing job being out there all day down along, climbing those hills and getting in shape and trimming their hooves for me. So that's how to think about trimming your hooves before you get on the trail. I hope you find that helpful. Marc Warnke, the Goat Guy, signing out.